Extra depth now on the spending of your taxpayer dollars by elected officials on what are called procurement cards, or P cards.
And tonight, El Pasoans are reacting to ABC7's reporting. The internal auditor's report shows more than 2,300 transactions were made on those cards by elected officials and City of El Paso staff to the tune of more than $550,000.
ABC7's Brianna Perez has reaction from El Paso residents.
Are we being cheated out of money that should be ours?
It just shows that, can we really trust, city council member or city council as a whole to be, fiscally responsible?
El Pasoans concerned over the use of taxpayer funds. Some left questioning the trust they have in city officials.
They totally broke the trust of everybody.
If you hide things, that's not knowing to you or to just people around you, of course, it's going to make you question. It's going to make you wonder.
These feelings after an internal audit found excessive use of gas cards by two representatives, District 3 Cassandra Hernandez and former District 6 Representative Claudia Rodriguez, in calendar year 2022, and also the use of taxpayer-funded purchasing cards in the same year that totaled more than $500,000.
If anything kind of solidifies my complaint.
George Zavala, who lives in District 3, previously filed a formal ethics complaint against Representative Cassandra Hernandez for claiming to have violated the city's ethics ordinance, says this spending shows a lack of fiscal responsibility that affects taxpayers.
When I have friends and family, Miss Perez saying, you know what, I can't buy my medicine because I have to pay my taxes. And then you have Miss Hernandez and Miss Rodriguez doing stuff like that. It just infuriates me that, how dare they?
El Pasoans say something needs to be done.
Hoping the culture will change in regards to just spending and just spend and spend and not even think about the consequences, because at the end of the day, me and you, we're paying for it.
Brianna Perez, ABC7.
And tonight, ABC7's narrowing in on the purchases made by former District 6 City Rep Claudia Rodriguez on a specific day. Now, Eric has a breakdown on what we found out. He looked at all the documents we obtained.
Stephanie, these that you see here were the purchases we laid out last night from that day, 8 of them totaling $7,556, all happening on October 13th. But 7 of those purchases, as you see here, occurred at the same Walmart store, 5 of which were within $6 of $1,000. But you can see none of those purchases exceed that $1,000 amount. The other purchase was for $993.20 at Target. ABC7 requested the itemized receipts from those transactions in an open records request dated May 12th. To date, we still have not been provided with those records. Now, as we laid out last night, the purpose of the City of El Paso's P-Card program is to facilitate the payment of, quote, small dollar purchases. The policy clearly states purchases should not be split to avoid a single transaction limit. So what exactly these purchases entailed is not clear at this time. ABC7 reached out to former Rep. Rodriguez, who did not initially respond, but we are working on securing an interview with her. But some of you reached out to me since last night's report about an event that occurred on that day, October 13th, 2022.
Thank you so much, Z6, for helping us make this event possible.
This is video shared on Rodriguez's official city government Facebook page when she was in office. The event is the District 6 Monster Mash community event, a costume giveaway and Zumba event at Marty Robbins Rec Center. In her post, she writes, quote, "Thank you, Z-Tex Construction Incorporated, for your kind donation. With your help, we were able to bring lots of big smiles and free Halloween costumes to over 1,000 children in our community. Thank you again for your continued support. It's greatly appreciated." Now, this event was promoted by the City of El Paso in a news release issued on October 11th, 2022, 2 days prior to the event itself. It was one half of a 2-district event, the other one happening in District 8 the next week. The release cites partners as Technomark, Z-Tex Construction, Marathon Petroleum Corporation, El Paso Electric, and the Aguilar Family Foundation, thanking them for donating funds to purchase those costumes. I also want to draw your attention to the last line of that news release. It reads, quote, "In addition, a portion of the costumes were purchased at Party City, who provided a significant discount." The City Council during the October 25th session posted a notice for notation accepting a $4,000 donation from Z-Tex Construction, quote, toward the 3rd annual Halloween costume giveaway event that was held on October 13th, 2022 at Marty Robbins Community Center in District 6. Now, going back to the purchases made by Representative Rodriguez on her P card that day, there were none in the month of October prior to the 8 on the day of the event, October 13th, and none occurred at Party City at any time in 2022, according to those records obtained by ABC7. So there is still no clear answer as to what that money was spent on. As for how she was able to spend that much in one day, the P card policy states a monthly transaction limit is decided by the department head and can be adjusted if the city employee believes it is not sufficient. Now, city source tells me tonight monthly P card transaction limits for city reps can range from $3,000 per month to $9,000 per month, and those are approved by the city's chief financial officer, Robert Cortines, and the city's managing director, Nicole Cote. It's not clear what Rodriguez's monthly limit was at the time of the purchases in October, but she spent a total of $7,680.75 in October 2022, with all but $124.27 of that coming on October 13th. ABC7 spoke today with the chairman of the Financial Oversight and Audit Committee and District 1 City Rep Brian Kennedy. He would not comment on the previous purchases, saying those are under review, but he said he wants to prevent any potential abuse of the P cards going forward.
One of the things I'm suggesting is that we start having, at the end of every month, we have, just for notation, a report that comes from the internal auditor that says, in the previous month, here's what each individual spent on gas, travel, and on their P card, because that way it becomes a monthly review that becomes public every month. And I think for transparency's sake, that makes sense.
Kennedy says his top concern right now, though, that he's looking into is the pressure the chief internal auditor, Edmundo Calderon, was put under to change his report. That's according to El Paso Mayor Oscar Leeser in my exclusive interview last week. And Kennedy says Calderon's response, not wanting to answer if he's been pressured, makes him believe he was pressured. Kennedy says he expects another report from Chief Internal Auditor Calderon next week. And Stephanie, ABC7 just obtained new P card documents that make up a significant chunk of the more than $500,000 taxpayer dollars spent by one individual. I'll be going through those purchases and bring you a full report tomorrow on ABC7 at 10.
All right, Eric.